anytime I give you guys 2 video podcasts 2 days in a row, or even 2 video podcasts in a 3-day span, I'm spoiling you. I'm spoiling you. Now, there's some YouTube hosts that do, 2, 3, 4 video podcasts per day, or at least, 5 to 10 per week. I'll never do that. Hold on a second. You know I'm smirking. Shine, baby. My favorite flavor. Yes. Love this stuff. Excuse me. I'm going to repeat the same format from video part 2 of video podcast number 30. This will be video podcast number 31. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the first 12 to 15 minutes of this video podcast on YouTube for free as kind of a teaser preview. And then the remainder of the video podcast, you'll have to be at least a $5 subscriber to my patreon.com page, which is below. Patreon.com page below in the description section, along with some other important and relevant links below. And you can always leave feedback to my video podcast below in the comments section. Or if you want to give me more private feedback, you can either write me through one of my 2 Facebook pages. I have a public page and a personal page. Both I'm under the name Alan Roger Currie. And you can write me email youtube@mode1.net, MODEONE.net, which is where I receive most of my female feedback. Women, with the exception of a handful of women, they hardly ever provide me with public feedback. I think they don't want to publicly acknowledge that they watch my videos. But actually, on average, I receive almost more private feedback from women than I do from men. So I find that interesting. A few what do they call that? Housekeeping things. Speaking of Patreon, someone asked me in the comments section, Alan, if I become a $5 subscriber, will I be able to see all of your videos that are on your patreon.com page? No. No, you will not. I mentioned this in at least one previous video podcast. I actually have at least 3 or 4 different tiers of subscribers. The lowest, starting with the lowest level, if you're a 1, there's some videos you will be able to see as a $1 per month subscriber. So there's some videos you'll be able to see as a $1 per month subscriber. Then the next level up is $5 per month subscriber. You'll be able to see a few more videos than the people who are just $1 subscribers. I don't know what it is when I get on video that my face begins to feel itch or irritated. That kind of freaks me out. Yeah, so there's the lowest level is $1. You get a certain percentage of videos you'll be able to see. I would say that's probably the smallest percentage of videos that you'll be able to see is if you're just a $1 subscriber. Next level up is a $5 subscriber. You'll be able to see more videos than the $1 subscriber, but less videos than everybody else. Next level up is the $10 subscriber. And if you're a $10 subscriber, yeah, you'll be able to see probably 80 to 90% of my videos. If you're a $10 subscriber, that's when you'll be able to see no less than 80% of all my videos that I produce. There's 2 levels higher than the $10. There's $20 subscriber will make you available to see some videos I have yet to do. I haven't done any of these videos, but in the near future, or I'm not going to put a time frame on it, but I'm going to be doing some videos where you'll see me interacting with other people. It might be a video from a workshop I'm doing, a video of an interview I'm doing with someone. Any video that there's another person in the video podcast with me, I will call that a special event video. And in order to see that, you will have to be at least a $20 per month subscriber. Now, again, I haven't produced any just yet. I'm in the early stages of working on some of those. But so all you have to be, in order to see all the videos that include just me by myself, is $10. And the other thing, you can upgrade or downgrade on a monthly basis. So you don't have to stay at the same level month to month. Like, you can start off at, say, a $20 per month pledge, and you can lower that if you see fit to a $10 pledge or a $5 pledge. Or you can start off at a $5 pledge and then later down the line upgrade that to a $10 or $20 pledge. So yes, Patreon does allow you to either increase your pledge per month. You have to stay at the same pledge, I think, for at least 30 days, a full month. And then beginning with the following month, you can either move up or down. And then the highest level, and this is actually, the highest level is really a bargain. My highest level is a $50 per month subscriber on Patreon. And when you're a $50 per month, that means you get access to all my videos, all of them, 100% of all my videos, plus you get up to 60 minutes worth of a Skype or telephone consultation with me. You get up to 60 minutes per month of a Skype or telephone consultation. And it could be either a full hour at once, or you can break it into 2 30-minute sessions, or a 40-minute session and a 20-minute session, or 3 20-minute sessions per month. And that's actually a bargain, because my normal rates for Skype and telephone consultations is $50 for 20 minutes, $75 for 40 minutes, and $99 for a full hour. So you're saving a minimum of $49 on my normal rates if you become a $50 per month subscriber. And again, you get access to all of my videos, including the special event videos. So there you go. What's today's topic about? Today's topic is something I've probably more or less talked about. Well, there's going to be some portion of my content in a lot of my video podcasts where I'm going to be repeating and reiterating concepts that I've already talked about. So if you didn't pick that up already, realize that now. There's a lot of themes and content that I'm going to be repeating and reiterating, although I just might express myself in a different manner. But in the last 24 hours, and really the last few days and few weeks, I had some guys write me and ask me, Alan, why do you seem so insistent on this whole alpha male, beta male delineation? And a similar question I've received is, Alan, you kind of paint a dim picture for beta males. Are you saying that if you're a beta male, you're not going to be able to have any success with women? That you absolutely have to be an alpha male in order to have success with women? So I'm going to be answering those questions. I wanted to first highlight a couple of comments I saw. Damn, I don't have them in front of me. I might have to pull up my browser as I'm talking to you. Hold on. Because there was at least minimum two comments that caught my eye. Well, one had to do with an old video. It had to do with my video, I think video podcast number 28, when I talked about men who are jealous and envious of ladies, men, and womanizer types. And some person, I can't remember their username. I think it was Black First Forever or something like that. See, they co-signed with me. Because if you remember that video podcast, I actually disagree with my fellow author and fellow dating advisor, Ron Wills. He had a video podcast where he basically told alpha males to quit picking on the beta males. And I wrote in his comment section for that video, because I watched that video of his, and I told him that my experience in life has been just the opposite, and I said that in video podcast number 28. So go back and look at it. But yeah, in my experiences and observations, it's been just the opposite. I've rarely seen guys who are ladies' men and prolific womanizers pick on guys who are less successful with women than them. That hardly ever happens. I mean, every blue moon, maybe, but that rarely. If anything, for me, it's been just the opposite. And this person who posted recently on my comments section for video podcast number 28 mentioned that. He said in his experience, he's seen that. He said at a lot of nightclubs he's gone to, he's seen guys try to start fights with guys who are ladies, men, and womanizer types. I've seen that all the time. I remember Eddie Murphy, when he first became famous, he talked about that. He said before he became famous, and he got less attention from women, he said he was able to go to a nightclub anytime he wanted to without problem. But he said once he became more famous, and more specifically, once he became more popular with women, he said guys would almost regularly try to start fights with him. To the point where he said he couldn't go out with having like security around him, like an entourage around him. That's why a lot of guys who are like professional athletes or male celebrities, usually they won't go, they rarely will go to clubs by themselves. At minimum, they'll go with like two of their buddies, and at maximum, they'll go with a full entourage. Because they know that a lot of guys, if guys see that you're real popular with women, I'd say no less than 50% of the time, guys going to try to fuck with you, particularly if you're by yourself. They're going to try to fuck with you. I've had it happen at least a few times in my life. Starting with roughly the age of like 17, 18. Now, again, I wouldn't say too many times, but I'm probably at minimum, probably half a dozen times, I've had guys try to start a fight with me simply because they saw that I was getting like one funny story. I remember I was doing stand-up comedy. I did stand-up comedy for about a year and a half, starting with summer of '89 till about fall of 1990. I used to do stand-up. Most of you have read my Wikipedia page, which is linked below. It's in my Wikipedia page, but I was doing comedy one time at this club called AKA's. It's on the north side of Chicago. And if I say so myself, I killed. This particular night when I performed, I killed. I mean, I had everybody just dying laughing. Like people was crying laughing, like bending over in their seats laughing. So anyway, it was me and 4 other comedians that performed. And shortly after the comedy performance was over, there was one point where I had all these women, man, that just surrounded me. Like I had probably like about 15 women that just had me in a circle. Like I was in the middle of the circle, and it was about 15 women just who had circled me. And I'd say no less than 2/3 of those women was very good-looking, sexy women. And they were giving me a lot of flattering attention, giving me their phone numbers, that type of deal. And this one brother, kind of made his way through the circle. And first he gave me kudos. He said, man, I gotta tell you, man, you a funny motherfucker. I said, thank you, brother. He said, no, I mean that, man. You had me really cracking up, man. You a funny motherfucker. And so at first I thought he just wanted to give me those kudos and give me that respect. Then he just kind of gave me this like semi-glare. Almost like I would call it at least a semi-contentious glare. He just kind of glared at me. And I said, what's up? You look like you want to tell me something more or ask me something. He said, I'll leave you with this, man. I just told you you're a funny motherfucker. But you want to know what's not funny? I said, what's not funny? He said, ain't nothing funny about one motherfucker monopolizing all the pussy in the house. And he winked at me. And then he just walked away. And I was just like, Yeah, and that was his way of telling me, man. He's basically saying, I ain't really cool with the fact that you getting all this attention from women and I'm not. I don't like it. And that's how a lot of brothers are, man. A lot of brothers, particularly in like nightclub situations or just general party situations, a lot of guys don't like that, man, when they see 1, 2, or 3 guys getting all the attention from women and they're getting hardly any attention from women. And yeah, that night, again, man, I'll say something, I had like 15 women just surrounded me shortly after the performance. But yeah, I never forget that comment he made to me. I'll never forget that. He said, ain't nothing funny about one motherfucker monopolizing all the pussy. But anyway, I don't want to rehash that topic. I already covered that topic about men. Now I'm at 18 minutes already. I'm going to go another 2-3 minutes in this teaser preview. But this video podcast is going to be about why the delineations between alpha male and beta male are so significant. Oh, I know that. One of the other comments I saw posted that I want to address. Burp number 1. Somebody wrote something that I disagree with. Somebody said when it comes to alpha male versus beta male, somebody wrote something, and I don't have the comment right in front of me, so I might misquote it. But somebody said if a woman is attracted to you, then that automatically means she thinks you're alpha. But if a woman's not attracted to you, then that automatically means she thinks you're beta, or something to that effect. I don't know if those were the exact words. Again, I might be misquoting it, but I vaguely remember it being to that effect. And if that was indeed what this person is saying, I would actually disagree with that. That is not true. That is not true. That is not true. The terms alpha and beta are not synonymous with someone wanting to have sex with you and someone not wanting to have sex with you. That is not true. I know many women that will actually have sex with a beta male before they will an alpha male. Or I've known women to really not find a guy, say, handsome or physically attractive, but they still acknowledge that that guy was alpha. So just because you're alpha doesn't automatically mean that every woman you meet is going to be attracted to you and want to have sex with you. And on the flip side, just because you're beta does not automatically mean that no woman is going to want to date you or no woman is going to want to have sex with you. That is not true. Here's what I would say. And again, I'm going to be cutting it off in about a minute or two. And you'll have to be a $5 subscriber of mine on Patreon to watch the remainder of this video. But I'm going to give you at least a couple minutes more of the free portion. Well, first of all, I want to reiterate Not everybody uses my terms. Like I mentioned Ron Wills. Ron Wills, he uses those terms every now and then, but he doesn't like. He has his own terms. A lot of people do. His term is select versus non-select. Steve the Dean Williams, another friend and fellow dating coach, he uses alpha male and beta male here and there, but his more preferred delineation is men versus males. David X, another fellow friend and dating coach, he uses leaders and followers. A lot of street pimps, they use strong versus weak men, or hard versus soft men, or sometimes pimps and players versus squares and tricks. That's a lot of street pimps delineations. Some pickup artists, they'll call them bad boys versus nice guys. That's what a lot of women use. Like, I've noticed that more and more, a lot of women are starting to use alpha and beta. But I would say, starting with my high school days, most women's terms for alpha versus beta was simply bad boys versus nice guys, or in some cases they would divide between womanizers versus monogamous gentlemen. So that's what, like, anytime a woman is talking to you, she says, "Oh, you're so nice and sweet," or she's talking about another guy and she talks about how nice and sweet he is, that's her coded way of saying he's beta. That's the most common women's coded language for beta. Anytime a woman refers to you as nice and sweet, that means you're beta. Plain and simple. That means you're beta. Or another variation is easy to get along with. If a woman puts a lot of emphasis on, he's so easy to get along with, or you're so easy to get along with, that means you're beta. That's a woman's way of telling you she looks at you as beta. Because that's why women love beta males. Because one of the reasons is because they are easy to get along with. Matter of fact, I would say the top 2 to 3 reasons why women usually like beta males, sometimes more than alpha males. Women perceive beta males as being much easier to get along with than alpha males. They consider them much more financially generous than the average alpha male. And third, just generally more flattering, emotionally empathetic, and helpful and accommodating. Flattering, entertaining, emotionally empathetic, and helpful and accommodating. So those are the reasons why women love beta males. Their biggest weakness just really comes, if nothing else, comes to how much they're able to turn a woman on sexually. Women just simply are not as turned on by beta males sexually as they are alpha males. Period. End of. End of story. That's just a realistic fact. Women are not as turned on by beta males sexually as they are alpha males. And this ends the teaser preview portion. In order to listen from this point forward, you're going to have to be a $5 minimum $5 Patreon subscriber of mine. So for those who just watched the teaser preview, the hashtag is I want to listen to more. I want to listen to more. I, letter I, want, W-A-N-T, number 2. I want to listen, the word listen, then another number 2, then the word more, M-O-R-E. I want to listen to more. That's the hashtag for those who just watching the teaser preview. All right. Mode 1, baby. Make it happen. Okay, now I want to welcome my $5 per month Patreon subscribers, my $10 per month Patreon subscribers, my $20 per month Patreon subscribers, and my handful of $50 per month Patreon subscribers. I'm going to start using this format more and more so you get your money's worth. You know, I feel like I've been giving away too many full free videos to people who are not Patreon subscribers. And honestly, that's unfair to you, my Patreon subscribers. You know, it's no point of you being a subscriber if people who are non-subscribers are going to get pretty much the exact same content for free. So 80 to 90% of the time moving forward, I'm going to be doing my videos in this format where I'm going to allow the first 10, 15, maybe as long as the first 20 minutes of the video to be able to be accessed for free. And then the remainder of the video content, you have to be at least a $1 per month subscriber. And most of the time, you're going to have to be at least a $5 per month subscriber. Now, in some cases, you'll have to be, I would say for my $10 per month and $20 per month subscribers, I'm not going to give a teaser portion or a preview portion. You will have to be a $10 subscriber, a $20 subscriber, or a $50 subscriber to get the full video, period. So people who are not subscribers won't even get to see a preview portion of those particular videos. So you'll be getting exclusive, what I call Patreon exclusive videos if you're a $10, $20, or $50. But for my $1 and $5, yeah, I'm going to break it up into a teaser preview portion, and the remaining content, you'll have to be a subscriber. Okay, now going back to my topic, yeah, see, here's the deal with the, and again, some of this might be at least partially repetitive from at least one or two of my previous video podcasts. Here's the areas where beta males are going to fall short compared to an alpha male. If you're looking to engage in a high degree of casual sex, like non-relationship sex with women, that's the biggest area where I would say being a beta male is going to hurt you. Now, when it comes to relationship sex, a lot of times you can pull the same quality and or quantity of women that an alpha male can. So again, when it comes to sex within the context of a long-term monogamous relationship, that's when I would say a lot of beta males will be potentially capable of pulling the same quality as women as an alpha male, if not the same quantity of women as an alpha male. But when it comes to short-term non-monogamous sex, and a lot of my listeners of my Ooh Say It Again audiobook have teased me about this because they say, man, Alan, if there's one point you just hammered into my head listening to your Ooh Say It Again audiobook, is the fact that if you're a beta male, you're going to have an extremely tough time getting women to have casual sex with you. But it's the truth. And that's not just my opinion. That's based on multiple conversations with women I've dealt with. Women have no interest in having casual sex with beta male types. They have no interest in that. Because they don't find beta males a turn on. The main reason why some guys think it's strictly a looks thing, no, it's not strictly a looks thing. Although I would acknowledge sometimes looks plays a part in it. Particularly if you're a guy who's either significantly overweight or a guy who's significantly underweight. So if you're like really, really skinny, sometimes women will automatically assume you're a beta male. Or if you're really, really fat or obese, women will automatically look at you as a beta male type. So I will acknowledge that health and fitness does play a part in whether or not women perceive you as being alpha or beta. I would say your looks more so from the neck on down affect your alpha versus beta status more so than your facial looks. Facial looks don't play that big of a part in alpha versus beta. Maybe to a real small degree, but no, not really. But neck on down looks, in other words, the condition of your physique, yeah, that does with a lot of women play a factor in whether or not women look at you as alpha versus beta. But I would say more so than anything to do with your physical appearance, it's more so about your demeanor, your behavior, and your verbal communication skills. Again, it's more so about your body language and demeanor, your overall personality and behavior, and the manner in which you express yourself verbally. Those are, excuse me, burp number 3. Those are the main characteristics that affect whether or not women perceive you as alpha or beta. See, like, if I had to give a few examples, beta males generally tend to carry themselves with far less personal confidence than alpha males do. A lot of beta males tend to be much more fawning over women than alpha males are. And for those young guys who might be unfamiliar with that term, fawning, F-A-W-N-I-N-G, fawning, that means you have a natural tendency to want to flatter women a lot and play up to their egos. That means you're fawning over women. What some guys in the urban community call being thirsty. Thirsty is a combination of being excessively flattering and emotionally needy. Anytime you're excessively flattering and emotionally needy, a lot of black men refer to that as being thirsty. You're thirsty. But yeah, that's another characteristic that beta males tend to have. Beta males tend to be very helpful and accommodating compared to alpha males. For example, if one of their female friends calls them up and say, "Hey, John, can you help me lift some boxes? I'm moving from one apartment to the other. Can you come and help me move?" Beta males almost inevitably are going to say, "Oh, yeah, sure, Susan, I'll come over and help you." Alpha male ain't going to do that shit. Alpha male going to be like, "You going to suck my dick? You going to give me some pussy if I help you?" So, yeah, man, beta males are very helpful and accommodating. Here's probably the biggest area, two areas that beta males fail compared to alpha males. Number one, money. Beta males are much quicker to offer to spend money on a woman and wine and dine a woman and offer a woman long-term financial assistance, support, and financial security than the average alpha male will. Most alpha males, quite frankly, are cheap. They are, with the possible exception of a woman who is their wife. But it definitely, if a woman's like just a casual fuck buddy, alpha males don't spend no money on no women. I'll speak for myself. I hardly ever spend money on women for casual sex. I've had more of my casual sex partners spend money on me than vice versa. I rarely spend, especially if you're talking about like a significant amount of money. Like if you're talking about like $15 here, $25 there, even as much as maybe $40 to $50, yeah, I've spent that type of money on women. But if you're talking about like $100 or more, hell no. No, I don't ever spend that type of money. I never spend no hundreds of dollars on a woman that I'm having casual sex with. Ever. The only time I've ever spent hundreds of dollars on a woman is if that woman was my long-term girlfriend. But if a woman's just like a fuck buddy, I don't ever spend over $100 on a woman. Ever. Now, I'm not talking about just like one interaction. I'm talking about like total, like cumulative. Cumulatively, I don't spend over $100 on a woman. Most money I usually spend, not only for one night or one weekend, but I'm talking about throughout the entire duration that I deal with that woman, the most money I'll usually spend on like a casual sex fuck buddy is maybe $50. I say absolute most, maybe 75. And that, again, that's not just one interaction or two interactions. I'm talking about the whole time I deal with that woman. I might spend anywhere no more than $50 to $75. I don't spend money on it. And most alpha males don't do. Most alpha males, they don't spend much money on women. They just don't, because they don't have to. And again, that's one of the things that separates alpha males from beta males. Beta males, particularly when it comes to casual sex, again, casual sex, short-term, non-monogamous casual sex, beta males are almost always going to have to pay for pussy, directly or indirectly. Directly would be like paying for a prostitute, paying for a call girl, paying for an erotic escort. That would be example of direct payment to a woman in exchange for her sexual companionship. Indirect would be like taking a woman out to dinner 3, 4, 5 times, buying her materialistic gifts, helping her pay some of her bills. So that would be you indirectly paying for sex. If you're a beta male, you pretty much always got to pay for non-monogamous sex. You almost always got to pay for non-monogamous sex. There might be certain situations where you might not have to spend big money if you're in a monogamous relationship or a monogamous marriage, but definitely for non-monogamous sex, you're gonna have to pay for that shit if a woman perceives you as a beta male. So that's one big area, financial generosity. Second biggest area is the type of behavior you allow. The type of behavior you allow. See, beta males, and I mentioned this, I think, in a recent video podcast. It had to be the video podcast number 28 or 29 or both. Beta males, if there's two types of behavior they tend to regularly allow that alpha males don't allow, is spoiled behavior and disrespectful behavior. Spoiled behavior and disrespectful behavior. That's the two general types of behavior that beta males tend to regularly or at least semi-regularly allow that alpha males rarely, if ever, allow. Alpha males do not allow women to get away with acting spoiled or get away with disrespecting them. They don't allow that shit. Once a woman does that, act spoiled and or disrespectful, an alpha male is usually going to give them one warning, maybe as many as 2 warnings. Then if those women don't adhere to those warnings, they cut them loose. They're like, no, you got to go. Like, that's how I deal with women, man. Anytime women try to act spoiled with me, defiant, and or disrespectful, I give them 1 warning. Sometimes I give them 2 warnings. And if they don't shape up after those 2 warnings, I cut them loose, man. I cut them loose, man. I ain't going to tolerate that shit. No alpha male tolerates spoiled behavior, highly defiant behavior, or just generally disrespectful behavior. No alpha male is going to allow that shit. Beta males allow that shit, if not 100% of the time, no less than 50% of the time, they allow that shit, man. They allow that shit. Women will test you. I've had many women confess this to me. Women will that's one of the ways women will test you to determine if you're alpha or beta. They'll see if they can get away with exhibiting spoiled behavior towards you. They'll test you to see if they can get away with exhibiting defiant behavior towards you. They'll test you to see if they can get away with exhibiting just generally disrespectful behavior towards you. If they find that they can on a regular or semi-regular basis, immediately they'll say to themselves, that guy's beta. They know you're not alpha. If you don't put a woman in check after they act spoiled, defiant, or disrespectful, a woman's going to lose respect for you. She's going to lose respect for you. If there's one other guy who talks about that in his book, is Iceberg Slim, old school street pimp from the 70s. Name is Iceberg Slim. He got a few books out. His most notable book is called Pimp, The Story of My Life. But basically what I just told you, he doesn't even really use the terms alpha and beta. But in his own way, yeah, he has his delineation. I think he divides guys just as pimps and players versus squares and tricks, or strong versus weak guys. He calls beta males weak guys. But yeah, he basically says, he talks about how women test men. Women are always going to test you to see if you got how strong your backbone is, man. If you're the type of guy that got the balls and backbone to put them in check and keep them in check. Matter of fact, there's a lyric in one of Tupac Shakur's rap songs called I Get Around. I like that song. It's a lot of good lyrics. Listen to the lyrics of that song, I Get Around. It's actually some at least semi-profound lyrics in that song. I mentioned that the lyrics of that song in one of my paperbacks called Up Front and Straightforward. But yeah, one of his lyrics is, he said, I'm going to be paraphrasing, I don't remember the exact line now, but it's something to the effect of, you guys need to keep your hoes in check. Because why is your hoes, why do they keep paging me? He's basically telling guys, like, if you really had your hoes in check, they wouldn't be blowing up my pager. Now, pagers have gone out of style. They've been replaced with cell phones and smartphones, and I don't think, other than people who might be doctors or something like that, I don't think hardly anybody uses pagers anymore. But that was the precursor to cell phones. Before there was cell phones, a lot of guys used to have pagers. Or even when cell phones first came out, like in the 1990s, a lot of guys also had a pager. But again, if you got a mobile phone or a smartphone, there's really no need anymore now for a pager. But anyway, going back to Tupac's line, yeah, that's his line in the rap song, I Get Around. He says, I have respect for the guys who keep their hoes in check. But he talks about for the guys who don't keep their hoes in check, he's like, I can tell, he basically says so many words, I can tell you guys who don't keep your hoes in check because they always blowing up my pager. See, in his own way, he was talking about the difference between alpha males and beta males. Because alpha males, man, they always keep their women in check, man. They don't allow women to get away with spoiled behavior, defiant behavior, and or generally disrespectful behavior. They don't allow that shit, man. Especially on a regular or semi-regular basis. They don't allow that shit, man. Once a woman start tripping like that, man, they cut them loose. Again, they might give them 1, maybe 2 warnings. Then after that, they cut them loose, man. No matter how fine that woman is, no matter how sexy that woman is, they cut them loose. And see, that's the problem with a lot of beta males, man. A lot of beta males, you all don't have any problems cutting average to less than average women loose when they act up. But when y'all, a lot of beta males I've noticed, when they're around really good looking women like 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, they'll tend to allow themselves to tolerate a lot of spoiled behavior, a lot of defiant behavior, and a lot of disrespectful behavior. Man, for me, even if a woman is a 9 or 10, man, I'm not allowing that shit, man. I'm not allowing that shit. I don't tolerate that shit, man. Because a woman's never going to respect you, man. And if a woman doesn't respect you, she's not going to really unleash her kinky, erotically uninhibited side to you. She's just not. And see, that's, again, one of the differences between alpha males and beta males, man, is because one of the biggest differences, I even talk about this or at least allude to this in my book, The Beta Male Revolution, and I want to say to a lesser extent in both Ooh, Say It Again, and The Possibility of Sex. See, when you're an alpha male, you're going to be more successful in getting women to quickly unleash and reveal their very kinky side and uninhibited side. When you're a beta male, Most women are going to keep their kinky side under wraps. They're going to more so show you their conservative side, their prudish side, their good girl side. That's what women do with beta males. That's what's known as being sexually duplicitous. You've heard me mention this concept a number of times. That's what it means to be sexually duplicitous. Anytime a woman acts one way sexually towards alpha males, but acts a totally different way towards beta males, that means she is sexually duplicitous. And that's what most women are. I ain't going to say all women, but I definitely would, without question, say most women. Most women in society are sexually duplicitous. They're not going to act the same way around beta males. Like, when most women are around beta males, that's when they're going to present their prudish or semi-prudish side. They're going to try to act like they're very all about monogamy, being strictly monogamous. They're going to give you an impression that you got to spend money on them to get the pussy, that you got to spend a lot of time with them non-sexually. You got to provide them with a lot of your non-sexual attention and companionship. That's what women are going to do when they perceive you as a beta male. On the other hand, when a woman knows that you're an alpha male, that's when she's going to let you fuck her without you really spending hardly any money on her. She's going to let you fuck her without you promising her any type of long-term monogamy. And she's going to just show you her kinky side. And she's going to, along with her kinky side, she's going to show you her very feminine side. Her very obedient and submissive side. That's what women do, man. See, when you're an alpha male, and that's why I love being alpha, arguably more than any other factor, is because when you're alpha man, that's when women will show you their very, very feminine side and their very obedient and submissive side. See, when you're beta, even if you're a woman's husband, fiance, or long-term boyfriend, most of the time, I'm going to tell you straight up, when you're beta, you're rarely, if ever, going to see a woman's true feminine side and her obedient and submissive side. You're not going to see that side. I can almost guarantee you won't. I can almost guarantee you won't. You might see glimpses of it. You might see it occasionally at best, but you ain't going to see that side on a regular basis. I guarantee you won't. I guarantee you won't. Women do not like, and again, I keep giving credit to Iceberg Slim in addition to myself, but Iceberg Slim basically says that in his book. So I know it's not just me who says this. That's one of the things Iceberg Slim talks about. He says when women know that you're weak, his version of a beta male, he said that's when they're going to suppress their feminine side and they're going to suppress their obedient and submissive side. You got to be alpha man to get a woman to unleash her kinky side and to unleash her promiscuous side and to unleash her highly feminine, obedient, and submissive side. You have to be. Here's the one story, and you've heard me talk about this story a number of times, but if you have my audiobook, Ooh, Say It Again, my best-selling audiobook, or even if you have the ebook or paperback version, as you know, in part 2, I have 6 verbal seduction stories. The number one verbal seduction story that most highlights what I'm talking about is verbal seduction story number 1. That was like my eye-opening moment. Everything I'm talking about in this particular video podcast, the number one time I realized that consciously was when I was part of that triple date that I talk about in verbal seduction story number 1 in my book, Ooh, Say It Again. I would prefer, if you don't have that book, I would prefer you buy the audiobook version because it's a little more detailed, the audiobook version. But if you absolutely, can't get the audiobook version or choose not to, yeah, you can read about it. It doesn't have, to me, it doesn't have the same effect, though, in the ebook and paperback version. The audiobook version brings that experience more to life because you can hear voices. You can hear voices in the audiobook version. But yeah, that's actually my best-selling audiobook. We'll say it again. Excuse me. Yeah, verbal seduction story number 1, man. And see, one of the reasons I like to point out this story is it kills the argument about alpha male versus beta male being all about looks and physical appearance. Because if you already know about that story, you know my looks were the same the whole night. It ain't like my looks changed. It ain't like I gained weight or lost weight throughout the course of that night. It ain't like I changed my clothes throughout the course of that night. So, I mean, physically, in terms of looks and physical appearance, I was the exact same man. I was the exact same man physically. But personality and behavior-wise, I was like 2 different men. Because to recap the story for you, again, most of the people who already had the book already know the story, so I'm just repeating it for you. But for those who haven't gotten that book yet, and again, I highly recommend that you do get the book, Ooh, Say It Again, preferably the audiobook. Links to my audiobooks are below in the description section. Yeah, I was on a triple date with 2 close friends of mine, and I was with a chick who was the cousin of one of my friends' dates. She was the younger cousin. At the time, I was about 21, and I want to say she was 19. Yeah, so she was just 2 years younger than me. Yeah, I was 21. She was 19. She had an older cousin that was like 21 or 22. And no, I say more 22, 23. And then my other friend's date, she was about 22, 23. And yeah, for the first roughly 75 to 90 minutes of my interaction with this woman, she treated me like a total beta male. I mean, she treated me like a chump. But I can't put all the blame on her. I put most of the blame on myself because I was allowing her to treat me like a chump and a beta male. And see, this is just what I was talking about beta males. That's one of the top 2 to 3 biggest mistakes they make. They allow women, what's the 3 forms of behavior they allow? They allow women to get away with spoiled behavior. They allow women to get away with defiant behavior. And they allow women to get away with generally disrespectful behavior. And that's exactly what I did with this woman. For about the first 75 to 90 minutes of that date, that triple date, I was allowing her to act like a spoiled brat. I definitely allowed her to act very defiant and sassy. And to a small degree, I allowed her to disrespect me. And what happened was, that's when we were in the apartment. We were in my friend's apartment. That's when she was treating me like a chump. And then I excused myself from the group and I went outside to take a walk to calm myself down because I was becoming very agitated and frustrated with her behavior. And she ended up following me outside. And then she started taunting me. That was probably the most disrespectful thing she did. She started taunting me, man. I don't know if I'd ever had a woman taunt me like that. She was like, "Oh, poor baby. Oh, you out here pouting. Is that what you're doing? You're pouting. Oh, poor baby." And that's when I went from mode 2 to mode 4, then ultimately to mode 1. And I talk about that in the book. So yeah, some people think I just went from mode 2 to mode 1. No, I went from mode 2 to mode 4 to mode 1. Yeah, because once she started talking to me, I for at least 5 minutes or so, I became mode 4. I looked at her and I said, "Bitch, shut the fuck up." That's exactly what I said. I looked her dead in the eye. I said, bitch, shut the fuck up. And it's funny, I've said this probably in previous podcasts, but that was the first time in my life I had ever said that to a woman. I had never said that to a woman before. Before the night of that triple date, I had never told a woman, bitch, shut the fuck up. I don't even think I've just called a woman a bitch, period, to her face. Or said, shut the fuck up, period. That was the first time I ever looked a woman dead in her face and said, bitch, shut the fuck up. But that's what I told her. I said, bitch, shut the fuck up. And then I gave her two options. I said, for the rest of this evening, you got two options. You either gonna suck my dick or you gonna shut the fuck up. You ain't gonna be allowed to talk to me. You can't talk to me at all the rest of the night. That was the two options I gave her. Either suck my dick or you will not be allowed to talk to me the rest of the night. And it was magical. I wish I had it on video. I mean, my words do not do it justice. And again, this emphasizes how women respond differently to beta males versus alpha males. When she initially had me categorized as a beta male, again, she was treating me like a chump, man. She was talking down to me. She was real defiant, real sassy and smart alecky, somewhat disrespectful. As soon as I exerted my confidence, my erotic dominance, and my angry side to her, man, I'm telling you, man, within a matter of seconds, I wouldn't even say minutes, I would say seconds. Within a matter of seconds, that woman's voice dropped. The whole volume of her voice just dropped. First, she was like real loud, and she had kind of a semi-dominant type voice. But when I told her, bitch, shut the fuck up, and I gave her those two options, all of a sudden her voice was like this. It was like, I said, where's your car at? You getting ready to suck my dick. She said, yes, sir, my car's over there. It's right across the street. I mean, it was like, man, her voice was like night, and her whole demeanor was like night and day. It was like night and day. Literally. It was like night and day. Like everything about her, the volume of her voice, her overall body language and demeanor, she became more feminine towards me. She became more obedient and submissive towards me. She obeyed everything I said after that point. Like everything I told her to do, she was like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She didn't give me no more bullshit. And it was that night, and that's why I included that story in the book, Ooh, Say It Again. Because that's when, more than any other single moment in my life, that's when I consciously realized the difference between how women react and respond to you when you're alpha versus when you're beta. It's a big, I'm telling you, I know from experience, it's a big difference, man. Particularly as it relates to sex. Particularly as it relates to sex, man. It's a big difference. Women act totally different towards you when you're alpha sexually than they do when you're beta. Totally different. What else before I wrap up? I'm about to wrap up in a couple minutes. So yeah, man. Biggest thing, I'm gonna wrap it up by saying the good news and the bad news for beta males versus alpha males. To answer the question, one guy asked me, if you're a beta male, are you just like shit out of luck when it comes to hooking up with women? No. Particularly if you're talking about for any type of long-term monogamous relationship, I wouldn't say you're shit out of luck. But even when it comes to long-term monogamous relationships, hey, I'm not going to lie to you. I got to be real with you because, you know, I always keep shit real on my channel. I think the only way I can tell you this is to tell you this bluntly. See, when you're a beta male, a lot of times, and there's a term in the manosphere that they call certain women alpha widows. Like in my book, I more so refer to it as alpha male leftovers. But the official manosphere term is alpha widows. What that basically means is when you're a beta male, typically, particularly if you're talking about a good-looking woman like a 7, 8, 9, or 10, you only going to get leftover pussy. You're going to get pussy from good-looking women that are usually past their prime. Like, for example, women who are 36 years of age or older. That's when most beta males are going to start having a lot of success with really good-looking women, is when they're older. With the exception, there's one exception. If you're wealthy and you're a beta, if you're a beta male who's wealthy, you can pull some young, fine women to get you to become your wife, or long-term girlfriend. If you got big money, that's when you can pull some young, fine women. But if you're making an average type income, slightly above average income, the only time you're going to be able to attract real good-looking women, 7, 8s, 9s, and 10s as a beta male, is when they reach the age of 36 years of age or older. Because, see, once they reach that age, most alpha males don't want them anymore. Most alpha males they ain't trying to hook up with those women no more. They trying to hook up with women 18 to 35. In most cases, 18 to 29. So, yeah, a lot of women you end up in a relationship with will be women, if they're really good looking, will be women that are 36 years of age or older. And a lot of those women are going to have at least one kid, maybe 2 or 3 kids. And other bad news for you, even in a long-term monogamous relationship, and I talk about this in the beta male revolution, and the possibility of sex. A lot of times when you're a beta male and you're in a long-term relationship or marriage, man, a lot of times your wife or girlfriend, they're going to cheat on you with an alpha male. They're either going to do it regularly, semi-regularly, or at minimum occasionally. They're going to cheat on you. Because women, again, man, women are just not as sexually attracted to beta males as they are alpha males. They're just not. Now, it's almost the opposite non-sexually. Non-sexually, women are more attracted to beta males than they are alpha males. So when it comes to spending time with men non-sexually, that's where beta males actually have the edge over alpha males. Women love spending time non-sexually with beta males. Most women don't like spending time non-sexually with alpha males, because, among other reasons, because alpha males are very uncompromising. They're very dominant and very uncompromising. And a lot of women can't handle that shit non-sexually. They can't handle that shit. So beta males are more appealing to women non-sexually, but sexually, women's preference is always going to be towards alpha males, guys with backbone. Again, I'm not going to say your looks doesn't have anything to do with the alpha-beta delineation, but that's not the biggest piece of it. And as it relates to looks, it's more about your physique than your face. Well, the one thing that women have told me they pay attention to on the face that relates to alpha versus beta is how crisp your jawline is. Women like very muscular, crisp-looking jawlines. So that's one thing that probably will work in your favor as it relates to your face. But women, surveys have shown, women don't put as much emphasis on men's facial looks as men do on women. They just don't. But women most definitely put a certain degree of emphasis on a man's looks from the neck on down. In other words, your physique. You got to have a reasonably nice physique, man, if you want to be perceived as alpha. You ain't got to be no male fitness model or no bodybuilder, but you got to have a reasonably nice physique, meaning you can't be too significantly overweight or too significantly underweight. You got to have at least a reasonable muscular build to you. But I would say more of the emphasis as far as alpha versus beta is about your body language and demeanor, your overall personality and behavior, and your verbal communication skills, which you know is my main emphasis, your verbal communication skills, how you express yourself verbally to women. You got to express yourself to women in a manner that's confident, straightforward, and masculine. Like you got to talk to women in a manner that you let them know you're not scared of being criticized by them or insulted by them. That doesn't intimidate you. The prospect of being criticized by them or the prospect of them giving you a negative reaction. Because again, women are going to test you. They're going to test you. And see, if a woman gives you a harsh negative reaction, you kind of back down like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you mad. I didn't mean to piss you off. I'm sorry. I read this guy, Currie's book, and he told me to be more alpha. I was just trying it out. I'm sorry. Please don't slap me, Brenda. Please don't slap me. Please give me some pussy tonight. See, if you had that type of reaction, a woman knows you fucking beta, man. If a woman challenges something you say, like say you say something really bold, provocative, and straightforward to her and say she has a negative reaction, you got to have that demeanor like, yeah, I said it, so? Yeah, I said it, and? You can't back down like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. Oh, where's my manners? I'm sorry, I'm not being polite. No, you got to have that, you got to give her that look in her eyes and be like, yeah, I said it. That's one of the ways verbally you show a woman you alpha, man. Say shit with confidence. Say shit that's bold, provocative, and straightforward. And if a woman happens to have some type of adverse reaction to it, she gives you some criticisms or some insults, let them go in one ear and out the other. Don't even pay attention to them. Don't let that make you become apologetic or make you back down. Have an attitude like, yeah, I said that shit, and be alpha, man. Be alpha. Matter of fact, that's going to be the hashtag. Now, here's the hashtag for this video podcast. Hashtag alpha males don't tolerate women's bullshit. That's the hashtag. Alpha males don't tolerate women's bullshit. And you can leave off the apostrophe. So for alpha males, for the word don't put D-O-N apostrophe T, just put D-O-N-T. And don't tolerate, for women's, don't put women apostrophe S, just put W-O-M-E-N-S. Alpha males don't tolerate women's bullshit. That's the hashtag for this video podcast. And keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. That's one of the single biggest differences between an alpha male and a beta male, man. Alpha males don't tolerate spoiled behavior, defiant behavior, or generally disrespectful behavior. They don't do that, man. They don't tolerate that shit. If you have a woman in your life right now that's been exhibiting one or more of those types of behavior, you need to give her a warning. Her first warning, and basically be like, hey, if you keep exhibiting this spoiled and disrespectful behavior towards me, then we're going to have to part ways. And if she treats you like, oh, motherfucker, then I dare you to ignore me. I dare you to leave me alone. You got to show her you mean business. You got to leave her the fuck alone, man. You got to leave her the fuck alone. For days, weeks, months, even years if necessary. Leave her the fuck alone. That's the only way you're going to prove to a woman, man, that you ain't willing to tolerate shit. If you just ignore her for, say, 2 or 3 days and then you call her again or text her again, she going to know, man, you can't handle being ignored by her, man. She going to know that. And then she going to know you beta. And if you're beta, you're not worthy of her full respect, man. So keep all that shit in mind. All right, fellas, man. My next video podcast probably won't be until Monday. And it'll probably be another video podcast that I'll give like a teaser preview. And then the remainder of the video, you'll have to be the $1 subscriber, $5 or $10 subscriber. So, yeah, I'll keep you posted. But, yeah, it'll probably be Monday, no later than Tuesday. All right, fellas, I'll talk to you soon. Mo 1.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. You're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1.
Mode 1.
Daddy, can I go, please? You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. 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 Oh. Oh. Oh.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. You know, it's the tone of your voice, how seductive your intonations are, the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice, how you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
I bet the king would fuck me really good.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie. The king.
The king.
The king.